Welcome back to the D and A Pest Control Podcast. This is going to be the resume episode from part 1 on the interview of Aaron. We decided to cut this in half because it was such a long episode. We didn't want to bore you guys, so we cut it in half so we could keep on going with this awesome content and this awesome interview. I hope from where it ended, it kept you on edge to listen to the second part of this episode. It only gets better. And it actually is awesome what we end up diving into and talking a little bit more, apart from getting to know Aaron and to hear all of his experiences, especially the crazy experiences we had personally here with the company. This is just going to go on further and ask and, dive into more of that, of what's going on in his life, what he learned, where he came from, what happened. And we're going to bring that episode hopefully to a close with this part 2. If it goes too long, we'll make a part 3. Just kidding. We didn't do that. But this is just the part 2 of the Aaron interview to get to know Aaron a little bit better. So listen ahead and get ready for more awesome stuff. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this awesome ride to get to know Aaron a little bit better. On the hot seat. Too quiet. People were almost like, they almost turned us off right there.
I know, dude, because I know you're on the hot seat. I really want to ask you something, but I can't think of anything. Actually, it's pressing because we talk about so much so often, Yeah. And that's a good practice. It's like we talk about our goals. We talk about where we're going.
Anything you want to know that you didn't know? Or what I'm thinking or what?
I got this.
Go. Let's hear it.
Now that you're this far into the business,
okay.
You had the opportunity to acquire ProServe.
Uh-huh.
You can go back. Mm-hmm. Would you take it in a different direction, or would you just stay the same path but just do it better?
Oh, okay.
Like, let's say you had all the skills, knowledge, things you have now, even with like the business side of it, the wildlife side of it.
Yeah.
You acquire ProServe. Would you continue to take it in the direction it was going and how it went? Or would you say, no, we're scratching this. Here's what we're doing now. I guess what I'm trying to ask is, like, how important was it for you and the team there to completely crumble to build it to where it is now?
So, yes. Going through what I went through today and what I've gone through over the years, if I could go back from day one and start it fresh, I would have hired different people. Mm-hmm. So the guy that we did end up hiring, my first hire, I wouldn't have hired him. Okay. With the knowledge I know now.
Yeah.
Once again, nothing against him. I wouldn't say that, but there's better people. And so knowing that today with the guys that we have on now, I would have hired way different. Mm-hmm. And I would have fired the office person and the tech right away. Mm-hmm. Well, not right away. I would have hired their replacement right away.
Yeah.
So I would have actually pulled someone in who probably had a little bit of experience, or I would have pulled someone in who has labor experience, and I would have molded them into that technician position, and I would have pulled myself back as more of a manager role than as a friend role.
Got it.
And I think that was my big mistake coming in, is I allowed someone who knew nothing and was very uneducated to think that they could make decisions and to put in their input, which was bad.
Yeah.
So that it was bad for business. It was bad for growth. And I think we would be actually further where we are today if I would have done that. Mm-hmm. Because I would have eliminated a headache in the office, which she was. Yeah. And she was a big problem. And I would have pulled someone in who was more sales oriented and focused on that. Yeah. But that could still handle the admin side. Mm-hmm. And then on the tech side, I would have pulled someone in who was a really good hard worker. Yeah. That cared about customer service. And I would have put them in that position and allowed them to flourish in that position, but not pull them in and mix them in with the office or managerial or even with me. Mm-hmm. And I would have kept that separation there.
Yeah.
Because I do think that was a big hindering factor in the future. Because people who complain will always complain.
Yeah.
Complainers will complain. And if you allow the complainer to complain, they start trying to change things to make their job easier, which doesn't make their job easier.
Yeah.
But they think it will. Mm-hmm. And that's what we started doing. And so we started making these circles. Mm-hmm. It was never a line up. It was just a circle.
Yeah.
We just kept going back around and around and around, and we were spinning our wheels. It was. But the good thing is there was still the push behind me.
Yeah.
So even though he was going in circles and I was kind of feeding that a little bit, it didn't matter because we still grew.
Exactly.
We still were going to push because even though he wasn't, I was.
Okay.
And so to make that is one thing I would have changed.
No, that's cool. And I mean, I saw it, and I know we're closing soon, but one more thing. I know that we saw when I got on and as people were coming on and leaving and big changes were happening, I saw how important it was, like the personality of the individual too, for the key to growing a business, right?
Yes.
It's like, it doesn't matter if the deliverables are there, if they can execute, if they're not oriented in the same way that we're going, it's not going to work out. For example, I feel like I have never had a relationship with a boss like I've had with you.
Yeah.
Right. Because it doesn't feel that black and white. The cool thing is, as you and I are both sales and business oriented.
Yeah.
So we can flip a switch and you can say, hey, why didn't you send in that bid? I'm like, hey, why didn't you put in those notes?
Yeah.
That's why I messed up. Mm-hmm. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, hey, let's grab some lunch.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you working on today at the gym? Mm-hmm. And we're able to flip that on and off because we know how important it is to be present when we need to be, but also pull ourselves away and remind ourselves that we're human beings also.
Yes.
And I think that has been the key to, at least a part of it, is why we've gotten to where we've gotten, at least in the office and with you and me and things like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because people can't. People do confuse that, and those lines end up getting very grayed and mixed. Is, well, you're my friend. Why'd you yell at me?
Yeah.
Well, because I'm your boss.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to help you get better.
Yeah.
That's why I yelled at you. Yeah. But people will take offense to that, right? Yeah. I'm offended because we're friends.
Yeah.
I invited you over to my house. Yeah, I know. Those were after hours, and we didn't talk about business.
Yeah.
I'm not yelling at you as a friend. I'm yelling at you now as a manager.
Yeah.
I'm yelling at you now as a boss. And it's the same thing, roles flip, is you're talking to me as a coworker. You're looking at me and saying, hey, look, all the other techs are putting in the notes in this way. Why aren't you?
Yeah.
I can't be mad at that.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. That's exactly the roles and rules we're creating for them. And why am I not following them?
Exactly.
But you also don't get bosses like that. You don't get people or managers even like that.
Yeah.
It's, I'm untouchable. I can do whatever I want. No, that's not.
Like Xerxes over there.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I haven't even seen the guy. I can't wait to see him. Hopefully he's all tall and has a bunch of just piercings in his face. No, but I think that it's a big thing is understanding there is that switch, and people can build that.
Yeah.
And I had to, I don't know where you got that from, but I got that from my dad because he was the boss, and my brothers were older than me working for him. And I remember specifically talking to one who's now trying to take the CEO position essentially now at his business.
Trying to take. There's a lot of key words, trying and take.
My dad's opened up. He said some stuff. So hopefully he doesn't listen. It's all right. Actually, if he listens and he gets offended, shame on you.
Yeah.
Shame on you. You need to learn, and you need to take this criticism as a learning.
Yeah. We've done some episodes on that.
Yeah.
Listen to him.
Yeah. So maybe by the time he listens, he'll know that.
Okay.
Yeah. But, no, I learned that because he would be like, yeah, dad yelled at me, but he actually wouldn't even say dad. He would say, Will yelled at me,
Yeah.
And then he was like, but after work, me and dad would hang out.
Yeah.
So he knew, and he was able to separate that. And I always took that even at a young age. I was like, oh, dad's not dad. That's Will.
Yeah.
That's the boss. After hours, 5 o'clock hits, that's no longer Will. That's dad.
Yeah.
So you can't step into that position anymore. It's after hours. You want to yell at your son, you can yell at your son at work.
Yeah.
After hours, that's your son, And he and my dad actually turned it off. He knew how to turn it off. Mm-hmm. It was super pissed off, angry, screaming, yelling. 5 o'clock hit. We're going to go out, grab a bite to eat. You want to come to dinner? Mm-hmm. And it was like it never existed.
Yeah.
But tomorrow at 8 a.m., guess what? He's going to be pissed off again.
Yeah.
You know? So he's going to forget about it for the next 12 hours until tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow morning, you guys are going to have another sit down. It's going to be uncomfortable. You know, but I learned it from there. Mm-hmm. I don't know where you got that, but I think that is a trait that so many people don't have that they need to work on and understand is don't take it personal. Mm-hmm. And if your manager holds on to that and is fighting you even after hours, then that he doesn't have it either.
Bingo.
Yeah. You need to understand like, hey, we can get in an argument. Mm-hmm. And then once we clock out, dude, that's on the clock talk, mm-hmm. you know, after is okay. Yeah. Unless you want to feel like you want to get something off your chest after hours, that's okay.
Right.
Let me put the boss hat on. Let's talk. But the second we're done talking, I'm going to take that off and we can go back.
Yeah.
You know, to what it should be. Mm-hmm. So that's actually cool to hear too.
Yeah.
You know, to see that. But that's how every relationship should be when it comes to a business relationship.
Right.
They need to understand that is you need to learn how to turn that on and off.
Yeah.
And there is fine lines and it's hard, mm-hmm. but you have to learn that.
Exactly.
So, okay. Anything else?
I think we're good.
We're going to make this a 2-parter, aren't we?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. We'll put part 1 and part 2. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Thanks for being on, Aaron.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know you're normally on, but now you're on as the guest.
No, it's great.
Thanks for sharing and opening up and telling us all these experiences. I think it is a huge help for people to understand who you are, where you came from, and your background.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Especially moving forward, I think it's a huge help for listeners and just to understand you a little bit better.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering even a lot of my questions.
Of course.
I learned a lot about you. I learned a lot about some of the stuff that we went through and what was going in your head. And it's reassuring to hear those things.
Yeah.
You know, so thanks for sharing all that.
Of course.
Everyone who's listening, just because the episode ended doesn't mean you can't ask him questions.
That's true.
You can send in questions on Instagram, on the email, and it's all actually posted. I don't want to run through everything. It's all on the bottom of the episodes, and we corrected the website. The website was actually wrong.
Nice.
I'm sorry. That was my bad.
That's okay.
It is now on every episode. You should have all of our links below, where to find us on Instagram, D and A Pest Podcast. Yep. So check us out there. You can send us messages there. You can send us an email or go on the website.
Please do.
And send us any questions you have for Aaron, for me, just general pest questions, or even if you want to be a guest, come on. We have 2 people so far this year. Let's keep it rolling in.
Yeah.
We want more. Also, before we wrap up, please leave a review. We don't charge you guys anything to listen.
Yeah.
We want to throw out this, content for free and keep giving you guys good information. Please leave a review on any platform you're listening to us on. I think we're on pretty much every one.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So please leave a review. Please share. Mm-hmm. If you get a free hat, because we are sending out free hats. So if you want some free gear, let us know. We'll get that sent out to you. Post it on Instagram. Share the word. The whole purpose of the podcast is to throw out good information, educational stuff to make you as a technician, as a manager, as an owner, as even just the office staff better. Mm-hmm. That's all we're trying to do. Is we want to get all this information and give it out to you guys, because that's what I didn't have when I first started, and that's what I want to share.
Yeah,
this is where you can learn it. This is where you can get and grow. Is right here on this podcast. So please share. Please throw it out there. Please just at least do a review. If you don't want to share it with anybody, that's okay. But at least review it. All right. Did I hit every point?
I think so. Just helps us grow, helps us reach more technicians, allows us to do more stuff. We're have very ambitious goals to be at Pest World with a booth. So, we'd love to hear from you guys and, appreciate everything.
Yeah, share the word. Thanks for listening to the D and A Pest Control Podcast.